Hey people, John here from Fast Films, and today we're going to go through a 2022 thriller movie called Nocebo. The movie begins in the home of a fashion designer, Christine, and her family, Felix, her husband, and Bobs, their daughter. Christine and Felix talk about who to take Bob to school, and Christine agrees to bear the burden. Felix drives to work while Christine decides to drop Bobs at school on her way to work. Christine gets to her workplace where she designs clothes specifically for children. She prepares some children for a fashion model, and everything gets underway. As the events go on, Christine receives a call and goes to a private room to receive it. With the conversation she has with the caller, Christine seems to have received terrible news. After the call, Christine looks up and sees a tick-infested dog coming toward her. The dog shakes his body, causing one of the ticks to land on Christine's neck and bite her. Christine closes her eyes in fear, and when she opens them, the dog is gone. 8 months later, Christine is taking medication for a mysterious illness. She wakes up in the morning and prepares her daughter for school. She hires a taxi to take Bobs to school while she finishes up. After putting on her makeup, Christine leaves to find a work contract. She meets with her colleagues, Liz, about her designs. Liz takes a look at the designs and tells her that she will get back to her. Christine gets her to her car and starts having her usual shakes. She calls Felix to pick Bobs up from school because she wouldn't be able to. Upon getting home, Christine received a call from Liz, who then informs her that her designs are being considered. She asks Christine to take some alterations to the design, and Christine receives the news with a sigh of relief. After the call, Christine hears the doorbell and goes to investigate. She opens up, and a Filipino woman who identifies herself as Diana is standing at the door. Diana says that Christine called about the need for a maid. Christine says she can't remember when she did, but invites Diana inside nonetheless. Christine takes Diana to her room upstairs and tells her that she will be staying there. The duo arrange the room together, and Christine tells her to come downstairs once she settles in. Diana lays down on the bed and hallucinates about her holding her baby. Simultaneously, Christine has the same vision too. Moments later, Diana brings out a matchbox and a tick crawls out and enters it. Diana then keeps the matchbox inside her bag. As she does so, Felix and Bobs arrive home. She goes downstairs to meet them. She tries talking to Bobs, but Bobs tells her that Diana has to call her by her full name, Roberta, because they're not friends. Diana agrees to call Bobs Roberta, and Bobs quickly goes to her room. Diana then offers to cook dinner, and Christine accepts. Diana packs some sand ashes from the chimney and wraps them in newspaper. Getting to her room, she overhears Felix arguing with Christine about how Diana came to be. Christine agrees that they give Diana a week to see how she fares. As Diana prepares dinner, she adds some herbs to the food. Bob's pet bird chirps loudly, and Diana gives it a death stare, which prompts the bird to keep quiet immediately. Soon afterward, Diana serves the family food, and they commend her for such a delicious meal. Christine tries to pick a cup, but the shakes return. Diana tells the couple that she can help, and Felix agrees to let her help. Diana moves her hand over Christine's body and starts tickling her. Surprisingly, Christine reacts to the tickling, and her hands start moving freely without any issues. After the family goes to bed, Diana goes through Christine's workshop and takes a look at everything inside. She takes interest in a picture Diana took with an unidentified girl. Before going to bed, Diana places the ashes on her doorstep. A short flashback scene then shows how Diana met her husband and how happy they are together. Now in the present day, Bobs goes over to Diana's doorstep and sees a childlike footprint on the ashes. Soon afterward, Diana wakes the couple with breakfast in bed. Christine appreciates her for being nice. However, Christine says Diana entering the room is being intrusive because they usually have their breakfast downstairs. Moments later, Christine prepares to take Bobs to school while Diana accompanies them so she can be familiar with the route to Bob's school. As they drive to school, Christine suffers from her shakes and they are forced to walk down to the school. After dropping off Bobs, Diana tells Christine that she can help her. The duo goes back home and Diana starts making some traditional remedies for Christine. She asks Christine if she is ready to trust her, and she says yes. Diana performs some cultural rites on Christine and she starts to feel better. Christine asks Diana how she knows about what she is doing. Diana then tells Christine her story. She says an old woman once come to her home when she was young. The old woman is a Uma. Uma in Diana's culture means a powerful being that has the power to heal or destroy. The old woman dies and the Uma spirit jumps inside Diana. Her parents start using her healing powers for financial means. People started getting scared of Diana because of her power. After the story, Christina finds it hard to believe Diana, but Diana says the only thing she needs to believe is the medicine. The next day, Christine tells Diana how the illness started, and Diana promises to help her. Diana tells Christine that she is holding something inside of her, and that's what's making her sick. A flashback scene shows armed men coming to Diana's village and chasing everyone out. In the present day, Christine checks her wardrobe but couldn't find her medications. Diana reminds her that she promised to throw them away, and Christine believes she already did but couldn't remember. Diana takes Bobs to school and notices that some group of girls is picking on her. Back home, Christine hallucinates about being in a fire, but Felix snaps her out of it. That night, Felix visits Diana's room and requests to have a chat with her. He tells Diana to stop messing with Christine's head. Diana says she is only helping Christine, but Felix disagrees. As Felix leaves the room, a bird comes flying at him, and he strikes the bird down. Turns out that the bird is Bob's pet bird. The next morning, Diana stays with Bobs while she buries her dead pet. Bobs tells Diana that she is now ready to be her friend because Diana is always nice to her. Soon afterward, Christine goes over to see Liz, and Liz informs her that her designs have been accepted. Meanwhile, instead of Diana taking Bobs to school, she takes her out on a walk to the park. A short flashback scene shows Diana taking a picture with her daughter. Back home, Felix goes through Diana's room. He sees a small altar she has and also a picture of her and her daughter. While doing so, he stumbles upon a sack under Diana's bed containing Christine's medications. Upon returning home, Christine scolds Diana for lying to her. She tells Diana to pack her things and she agrees. Before leaving, Diana takes out the tick and lets it loose again. She then goes over to Bob's room and tells her that there's something that she can do for her if she wants them to be together forever. The duo says goodbye and Diana leaves. That night, Christine hallucinates about a giant tick crawling up on her. The next morning, Christine realizes that the spot where the tick bit her before has started bleeding again. Later that day, Bobs lies to Christine that Felix was the one that kept the medications. Christine gets angry and berates Felix for betraying her. Felix tries to tell Christine that Bobs is lying, but she isn't ready to believe it. While walking up the stairs, Felix sees a bird flying toward him, and this causes him to trip and fall down the stairs. Shortly afterward, medical personnel arrives to take Felix to the hospital for treatment. As days go by, Christine starts feeling worse. At a fashion show, Christine hallucinates that everybody is infested by ticks, and she screams out very loudly. She soon snaps out of it and realizes that she has made a mess of herself. One afternoon, Bobs goes to her mother's room to see her, but Christine tells her to go away. Bobs hears the doorbell and goes over to check. She's happy to see Diana standing in front of the door. Seeing Diana, Christine starts crying, but Diana tells her not to because they will now finish what they started. Diana feeds Christine some ashes and begins to write with her. Christine sits behind her sewing machine and starts working with it. A flashback scene shows Diana and her daughter arriving at her place of work. Diana works at a cloth-making factory. It's revealed that the factory belongs to Christine. She arrives and tells the factory manager to increase the tasks given to the workers. She also instructs the manager to lock the door at all times to prevent the workers from stealing. As she walks by, she sees Diana's daughter and takes a picture with her. This is the same picture Diana saw in Christine's workshop while going through it. One afternoon, Diana leaves the factory to buy her daughter a cup of coconut water. While she's gone, a spark of electricity falls from one of the AC vents onto a bunch of clothes and starts a fire. Because the doors are locked, everybody inside the factory couldn't get out, including Diana's daughter. Everybody inside the factory gets burnt to death, and this reveals that this is the news Christine received at the beginning of the movie. While grieving, Diana sees the tick-infested dog and uses it to curse Christine. Now in the present day, Christine has realized where her illness came from. Diana forces Christine to work on a sewing machine till her body burns off. Afterward, Diana goes over to Bob's room and tells her to go to the garden. Bobs watches as Diana jumps off the building to her death. As Diana dies, the Uma spirit in her jumps out and enters Bob's. Just then, Felix arrives home to see the burnt body of his wife behind the sewing machine. Diana's spirit also pays a last visit to her husband. The movie comes to an end as Bobs gathers herbs in the woods. She looks up and sees Diana looking at her in the distance. Thanks for watching, guys.